Hello. Hello, my name is Skylar Ogden, and I have a master's degree in history from Liberty University. I have just completed my first year of my doctoral work, and recently I have been interested in the history and development of the United States Army, especially as in manners of professionalism. And some of this interest in this research right here is on how the Army performed and participated in many things in terms of American development, national development on the frontier. The main question of this research is to ask how the Army implemented professional changes learned from the Niagara Campaign in 1814 during the War of 1812, and how those changes were implemented on the frontier. Now, this is part of a larger dissertation topic that I'm interested in on the Niagara Campaign of 1814, and how the training that the Army received at Buffalo, New York, transformed basically amateurs at arms into a professional fighting force, much how General von Steuben transformed the Army at Valley Forge during the American Revolution. Now, these implements include many different things, specifically professional behavior and discipline, because a professional army needs to know how to act and behave, and discipline is a way that that behavior was reinforced and carried on while these soldiers were isolated in various posts along the frontier, far away from various settlements. This also includes routine training, which includes how to march, how to stand at attention, proper dress uniforms, cleaning protocols around the forts, and it also implemented how to effectively march in formation to maintain battle formations while pitched in battle, and also how to use their weapons effectively. This also includes the building of forts and national roads, because to keep the frontier secure and safe for settlers and the Native Americans from each other, forts were needed to be established in specific locations that allowed easy travel, easy access to supplies, and provided as garrisons and forts for whenever campaigns were to start against the Native Americans or against other belligerent countries that threatened the American frontier. And many of these changes also include interactions with the Native Americans, such as the fighting styles, the Indian Removal Act that was under Jackson's presidency, and the various ways the Army adapted to fighting along the frontier, because it was not what they were used to or what they were trained for. Now, major sources for this research consisted of the correspondence between major Army generals and the War Department, including Generals Andrew Jackson, Winfield Scott, Jacob Brown, and Henry Leavenworth, and the Secretary of War, such as John C. Calhoun. And major sources also included memoirs and journals from these Army commanders from the various posts they were stationed at, and this also include sketches of the various forts to show how the forts were designed and why they were designed in specific ways, what they were built out of, and also old maps to show where these forts were and how the roads connected to them, even railroad junctions, and also includes old reports not only from the forts but from when the Army explored the West, because the exploration of the West gave them ideas of where to put the forts and how to set them up based on where they were, and most of them were set up along waterways. Now, the main conclusion of this research shows that many elements of the new professional Army along the frontier can be traced to lessons learned from the Niagara Campaign in 1814. Specifically, routine training, professional behavior, the building of roads, and the adaptive techniques that the Army used when fighting the Native Americans, because the Native Americans tended to use irregular styles of warfare, and it was not used to what the soldiers were used to or what they were trained to, who were trained more for open battle like they were in classic European armies. So looking at these shows how the new army and the Constables of the West, if you may, can trace a lot of its professional elements to the Niagara Campaign and the inspiration it gave for the reforms of the new army. Now, the research has also opened up new questions on how the army functioned along the frontier, specifically how they adapted to fighting the Native Americans and their irregular styles of warfare. This would include new gateways to how the army fought along the American wilderness and how the Civil War brought up new changes as well. Because the Civil War brought up reforms of the army of its own compared to the War of 1812. I hope you found this very enlightening, and I appreciate you listening. Thank you.